Yay! And we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to Sacred Sounds of Coffee with me and Jen Lynn. We are here. It is the first Friday of April, and we are talking about connecting and staying connected to angels and guides and having a little coffee and a little chit chat.
Little Rosie's talking in the background.
Rosie will be talking every time the camera goes on. She's like, "Where's my camera?" She has to come on my lap or be involved. She's kind of a diva, and she's been a very naughty diva this morning. A lot of bad
She's,
things she's been doing.
she's
Real energetic.
been so cute running around in the background.
Yeah, she's been crazy. All right, you want to come up? You can come up, but you have to behave yourself. She's looking at me like, I don't think I can do that.
I've been laughing because I have Skewy and Bella on the floor looking at me like, Mom. And then Lucy came up.
Yes.
They're probably
Yeah,
all
I think the cats have been wandering this morning. Okay, come here. Get your toy. So what she wants to show everybody, is her squirrel's tail. She had a toy squirrel, and now we have just the tail.
And
So
that's
that's
the
what
best
she's
toy.
been wanting to show her guests.
And Gail has a new toy too.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. So finally, we have a gong today. I have my very first gong. I've been playing her all week. She doesn't have a name yet, but she is back there. So we'll be hearing that a little later. Oh, it's heaven. Really something. So that's been a long time coming.
I think our topic is perfect with the eclipse coming up Monday because energetically that always does a lot, right? So getting
Yes.
connected to our guides and angels, it's always a good time during an eclipse, I think.
Yes, definitely. And I've been feeling that, and I feel like it just vibrates through the gong, all that kind of energy. It's been an interesting time to play music and put it out in the universe.
I got my little, glasses to watch the eclipse on Monday because I'm off on Monday. So,
Oh,
it's hitting
nice.
here around 1:30, I think, in the afternoon is at its peak. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the eclipse. Well, now it's like going to be partly cloudy. So I don't know if I'm going to, I'm like hoping the sun breaks through and I can
Right.
see it because I'm in a prime location here in Illinois.
Right. Yeah, I'm right with you. So yeah, we're supposed to have a really good view. There's yeah, we're in some sort of a cross zone, so that's pretty cool. The way the we're sitting on our axis right now, I guess. And, yeah, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't have glasses though. I could probably Amazon can have them here in 24 hours.
Right. I ordered, like, they came in a pack. So there were like 4 or 5 pairs in it. And I had some that my friend Beth Cat had sent me the last time we had an eclipse,
Yeah.
and I could see that one. But I lost them. I'm like, okay, where did I hide them? I put them somewhere safe, and hid them from myself. So I ordered some more. Well, I took the extra ones to my guitar teacher yesterday. I said, here, because he's also off on Mondays. I said, are you watching the eclipse Monday, you and your wife? And he's like, yeah. And his sons, like that, school, like they're letting kids out of school and stuff to see it.
Nice.
So I gave him like 4 pairs of glasses so that they could.
Awesome. Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. That's exciting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to either step out. I'm trying to remember, is it like 2 or 3 in the afternoon when we're gonna, um
No, it's like 1:30, I think, Central Time when it's
okay.
you're
I
starting
have
at
to
1:30 or it's
check
at
my
its
time and
1:30 stuck in my head. So I figure I'll step out and look out around 12:31, see if it's starting to come in. I enjoyed
okay.
the last time.
Yep.
I remember I watched the whole thing, the whole phase.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Nice. It's exciting for sure. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
this one's really going to impact me because it's in Aries and it's going over a lot of my planets. I have 4 planets in Aries, and it's hitting me
Nice.
pretty strong. So I think energetically, I'm probably going to be a little wired.
Nice. Are you making anything to focus on during that time? Anything you want to bring forth or?
I hadn't really thought about it yet, but I'm sure that morning, or I'll
Yeah.
probably like get some messages about,
Yeah.
hey, do this.
Nice. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, that's going to be cool. Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, we're going to talk about connecting with guides and how to stay connected because it's hard. I know it can be tough to stay connected to anything with the crazy energy that we have out and around us. And if you're out, doing anything, working, or you've got kids, or you've got whatever, and it's hard to stay
Find
centered and
the,
stay focused. Yeah,
find the
connected.
time. It's funny when I do personal readings, the number one question that comes up over and over: do my guides have a message for me? And it's like people don't realize they're getting messages all the time. They're just not recognizing it.
Right.
Um, so it's fun to get people started on that journey of recognizing the messages.
Yes. Yeah. So, what do you think if you could say a few things that are, good for recognizing messages?
They come in so many different ways, and I have stories about different times where I've had experiences of really strong connections. But we can have dream visitations, and I always tell people, like, you may remember having a dream and your guide was sitting there with you talking. You may not remember what you were talking about, but your higher self, your soul knows. So it doesn't matter if you don't remember the details of it. Just know that, okay, I was connecting with my guide. um, I think, um, for me, like, I get smells for different archangels.
Ooh, nice.
So if Archangel, I have a very strong connection with Raphael and always have. When Raphael's around, I figured out it will smell like roses. Uh, and I always tell people, like, they may present a different fragrance, to you. So Raphael may smell different to you. To me, he smells like roses. When Archangel Michael's around, I smell patchouli. When
Nice.
Archangel Gabriel's around, I'll smell gardenias. So each time I smell gardenias, I'm like, oh, Gabriel's getting ready to give me some news about something. He's
And then
getting
you
ready.
know where to look because he's like the voice of God, and Michael's like the fighter and protector, and Raphael's the healer, and like yeah. So then you kind of, but I think like taking the time to just stop and say, okay, I'm here with this angel, and ask them to come in and just see what do they present to you. Do they present patchouli and kind of over time like connect and see how they want to present
And
themselves.
colors, like, when I'm working with Archangel Zadkiel, who helps mediums, his color is purple. And I'll start seeing purple everywhere. I'll see it, like, I'll be out shopping and I see like some purple wall art, or you know if I'm furniture shopping, I'll see purple sofas everywhere or something. Like, I'll see a lot of purple.
Right.
Or I'll hear the music, I'll hear the song Purple Rain. I'm like, oh, Zadkiel's got a message for me. Hang on, and
Nice.
it'll get my attention to pay attention. You
Right,
know,
exactly,
which is
exactly,
which
yeah.
is what happens. Like, if I start smelling gardenias, I'm like, I start paying attention. Gabriel's getting my attention that there's some news coming you need to hear.
Right,
Um,
right,
right,
right.
I get a little bit heightened alert, so to speak. Repeating numbers,
Mm,
um, those are angel numbers, I call them. If you don't know what they mean, but you see the same numbers over and over and over again, you can Google, just type in Google angel number, blah, 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 whatever it is, whatever the number is, and it'll tell you what it means. So I always pay attention to numbers when they keep repeating over and over. It's really
yeah,
funny. Um, my guitar teacher has a set of repeating numbers he sees over and over and over again. And last year he got a new car and registered it and got new license tags and everything for it. And when he got his license tag, it had his repeating number on it. Is his
Oh,
tag number?
nice. See, it's like so wild how they will, find a way to get to you. Like,
Yep.
I never worry about that because it can come in the most unexpected ways. And
Because
I don't know
now
what,
every time he walks to his car, he sees his repeating number over
right?
and over again.
And you make the
Um,
affirmation and the connection. That's
I
beautiful.
mean, he's had this number with him for a long time, for years. Your numbers can change that they show you depending on what's going on. So if you're going through something in particular, they may have a certain set of numbers that show up. Becca, I know she watches receipts because she'll get repeating numbers on receipts when she purchases things. And
Wow, that's so interesting. And I think even Googling, your message is going to come up. I know it's all algorithm based, but what you need to know, or if you're doing the receipts, or if that's your method and that they know how to connect. Like Paisley's asking right now, is it necessary to know who you are connecting with?
no, I think the main thing, like I always tell people, like automatic writing is a great way to connect to your
Yes.
guides and angels. And when I connect through automatic writing, bye bye, Lucy. I always hold the intention because intention is everything. I always hold the intention. Only spirits of love and light are allowed to connect to me. And that keeps the earthbound trickster energies from messing with you.
Right.
If you write something and it doesn't resonate with you, it's not love based, it's more fear based, then it's a trickster energy, and just say, you gotta go out.
Right.
You're not allowed to connect to me. Just pause.
Right.
um
That's
that
what
doesn't
Paisley
happen
just
often. Yeah, but
mentioned, that she only discerns between light and dark energy. She doesn't necessarily, name. And I think, that's just either that's fine and that's choice and that's perfect.
names,
Or you
names
go
are
deeper and
more
you spend more time.
names are more for us so that we have
Right.
a way of calling on that energy. They don't care so much. Raphael doesn't care about a name. It's my way of invoking or calling on that energy to come in and help me. So names are more for us than for them.
Yeah. So I have over here up there, you can't really see, but it's um, Raphael, Michael, Uriel, and Gabriel's on the other side. They're up in my bookshelf up there. I forgot about that. Now I'm like, oh yeah, they're there.
There's so many different archangels. There's a lot of books on the market you can get about the archangels. And um, what is it, Book of Lights, the Zohar, that has that's where I always had an affinity for Raphael, but that's where I got a really firsthand introduction to all the archangels that are out there that help us, that have for millennia.
Right. Yes. And I like Michael always, every day I talk to Michael. But I noticed, like, when I found kind of my personal guides and personal guide in particular, just, kind of my main one, like that changes a little, but that's more energetic. Like Michael, I find I have conversations with. My other guide, I just feel the warmth and I feel, I will get like, do this, don't forget this, focus on this, everything's okay kind of energy. But yeah, but I don't have a name for her. She feels feminine, but I just
A
know when
lot of
she's there and the difference in energy.
you can feel if they're masculine or feminine energy. And even the archangels, to me, have, like Michael has a very masculine kind of energy. It's not that they don't have both, like we have both, right? I just feel a little stronger, masculine. Same thing with guides. I believe, my belief is, we have a main guide we were born with, that has been with us our whole life, that has
Right.
been with us in many lifetimes. So that main guide we have a real strong connection with. And a lot of times, like if you do a past life regression, in between the lifetimes, you can sit with your guide and talk about that lifetime. Like what do I need to know and understand about that lifetime? But I think we have many guides that come and go. So like when I'm doing a reading, I have certain guides that are around me. My main guide is always there. My main guide's name I call Jeremiah. Um, he's always there. But when I'm doing healing energy work, I have different guides that come in. So I have one that feels like a Peruvian shaman kind of energy. And I've written his name in automatic writing. I can't pronounce it because I don't speak Spanish or Portuguese or anything. Yeah, but I call him Otto. I nickname him because they have a sense of humor. So I call him Otto. I have an Asian guide that comes in when I'm doing healing energy work, and I can feel when I'm doing healing energy work on someone that there's about 10 pairs of hands on them, all these guide angels around them. So you have different guides that'll appear at different times to help you with different things. And then, we have our departed loved ones that you may also pick up on. Our departed loved ones are not guides. I think there's a lot of people that think, oh, my grandmother, she's one of my guides. No, it's your grandmother. She's just there supporting you, loving you as a departed loved one. She's not a guide. Guides are a much higher vibration. So, they'll send you messages through a movie or TV show. Like suddenly you'll hear dialogue jumping out at you, and I call it angel messages. When I hear something out of context of the movie, it's like, oh, whoa, they're giving me a message. Just like music, sending a message through music. I have a favorite story I have to share.
Oh, please.
About music. Back in 2018, I had a cat. She was over 18 years old, named Luna. And it was my second time with Luna. I had her as a teenager also. And then I got her when I was like 40 years old. Had her till I was 58. And I had a very close bond with Luna. There was a very special bond. And, she wound down and I had to put her down. And so I take her to the vet hospital to put her down. She got to where she couldn't stand anymore and couldn't eat. So I took her in. And when I came back out to my car, in my car, like on the way there, I didn't play the radio because I didn't want to disturb Luna as I was driving there. But on the way home, to distract myself a little bit, from my grief, I turned the radio on. And in my car, I play most of the time, like I have a current station that plays current pop. I don't put it on that much. It's always on the 70s rock channel. And the 70s rock channel plays things like Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, 70s rock, like hard rock. And so I had it on that channel. And all of a sudden, coming through that channel was Andy Williams from the 1960s. Wow. Crooner, slow ballad crooner, singing the song from Breakfast at Tiffany's, Moon River. Moon River, Luna, Moon River, my huckleberry friend and I. And I just had to pull over the side of the road, went into full tears. I'm like, okay, my angels are letting me know we've got Luna. Like, I just knew that's what, like, and then as soon as the song was over, it was back to Aerosmith. I was like, they never play Andy Williams on that channel.
Right.
They would never play Andy Williams on that channel. And to play that song, Moon River,
yes,
it jumped out at me. So they can make some incredible things happen for you if you just stay open to it and acknowledge it when you're getting a message. If you ignore it, I find they get sometimes a little frustrated with us because they're like, I'm giving you messages and you're ignoring it. And if you don't acknowledge it, then it may happen less frequently. It's like, okay, they're not ready for this. But the more you acknowledge, the more you acknowledge you're getting messages, the more frequently it happens.
Yes.
And
I think the more you slow down and really listen and acknowledge it for the wonder that it is, which is pretty incredible. If they could change the station's frequency and have Andy Williams pop in, like it's pretty incredible, but not at all surprising.
Their music light up to suddenly play Moon River. I mean, that was the craziest thing I think I've ever had happen. It was like, Moon River, Luna. I was like, wow. They're letting me know in River, transitioning. It was like, wow. So that's one of my favorite angel stories to share, where they were letting me know she's okay. We've got her.
Right.
There have been other times, where I've had things like a touch, getting touched. I can remember I lived in Manhattan, then I moved to Hoboken, New Jersey, which is right across the river, and lived most of my adult life around the New York City area. But I was living in Hoboken, and I'd broken up with this guy I'd lived with for a while, and was feeling kind of down, and I'd kind of lost myself. I was like,
Mhm.
I gotta get grounded again and find myself. I feel like I've kind of lost touch with myself. And so I was feeling kind of blue, and I'm walking down the street, and I had on a denim jacket, and I had my hands in the pockets of the denim jacket. And as I'm walking down the street, inside the left pocket, I felt a hand take my hand and squeeze it as I'm walking down the street. Someone is
Nice.
holding my hand inside my pocket.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God. As I'm walking past people, I'm like, do they notice my face? Like, it's got to be all over my face that I'm having a metaphysical
A
experience I can't
metaphysical
explain.
moment. I am a spiritual being having a human moment.
Yeah, and felt the physical touch,
Yes.
so
I
those
will
kind of
feel,
things. So, those aren't daily occurrences. Those are special.
yes,
When those happen, they're not frequent, but they stick in your head forever. Like, I will
definitely.
never forget the sensation of feeling someone holding my hand and walking down the street.
Right. That's beautiful. Yeah. I will feel a lot of like someone just blowing cool air on the side of my face, or, just a touch on my arm, or,
Touch on the
yeah.
head.
And I notice that I get that a lot of times. I think one of the important places that, it can be important times of the day are like when I'm waking up first thing, or when you're falling asleep and you're kind of in that liminal space, and you're just, starting to open to, you know,
I, I
that
find that
calm heart space.
that's a big time. Like, right as you're about to doze off, or
Mhm.
right as you're starting to wake up, and you're not alone. That somebody's either touching you or talking to you, or
Yeah.
soothing, and just feeling the unconditional love, that comes through.
Yes.
Those are big times, right
Yes.
as you're about to fall asleep, and right as you're waking up. I keep
Yeah.
a little spiral bound notebook by
Yep.
my
Me too.
bedside, so that if I have a very vivid dream, and it's usually right before I wake up, I will
Yep.
jump up and write it down before I forget it.
Yes. I've just started to, because I always have that, and some of it I'm like, what in the heck was I writing? But I've started to go back and like kind of create a separate journal and try to transcribe some of that stuff, and kind of put some art in, and put some, just kind of to see the pattern before because some of it it's so hard to read, or, you lose the sentiment. So I'm trying to kind of put it all in one place and make it just a really special, you know, location for all that stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
keep
so,
a like I have a gratitude journal. There's nothing but gratitude in it. So when I'm having a blue day, I call it, when I'm having
yeah,
a low day, I get that gratitude journal out, and I'll read all the things I've written down. Some of them are mundane, but they're still things I'm grateful for.
definitely. And I keep things that, we have, like at work, we have a system of kind of, little cards that you kind of, hey, thanks for doing this, or I really appreciate you, or what. And I keep all those in one place too. Or if I get a really nice text from my boss, or, a friend, and just kind of,
Well,
you know,
friendships. How many times have you like been on the phone or having a conversation with a friend or a coworker, and something they say is like an angel message? It's like
yes,
exactly what you needed to hear, because it is. It's an angel message, or it's a message from your guide.
definitely.
Where something that they say just jumps out at you. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I needed to hear that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So they will utilize whatever they can to get a message to you if you
Yes.
stay open to it. Symbols.
What do you
Um,
say about kind of to kind of focus more specifically on your guides, kind of take meditation time, kind of just if you really want to connect deeper, like maybe a top couple things that you would do other than get in that meditative space.
One of the first things I tell people is like, that want to connect with their guide more. I'm like, open yourself up to divine order and just ask your guide, like get quiet. And we were talking about this before we started. Unplugging from the news and things that pull your
Yes.
vibration down, unplugging for a little bit before you try connecting. So my favorite place to meditate is the bathtub in my bubble bath with
Nice.
candlelight, so whatever works for you, or in my garden sitting on the garden bench, where like when I'm doing it outside, I tend to do a soft eye focus, where I let my eyes get real soft and everything kind of blurs. When I'm doing it in the bathtub, I'm usually with eyes closed.
Yep.
So go where you're comfortable. You don't have to sit and go and all that with meditating. We're not all transit, but I've gotten more messages than a lot of people that are into transcendental. What do they call it?
Transcendental. Yeah.
Meditation. It's like, do what you're comfortable with and ask your guide to show themselves to you, and you'll see them like a snapshot or like a slow moving movie in your third eye chakra in your forehead. And just ask them, like if you close your eyes right now, just take a minute and ask your main guide to show themselves to you. And my guide has such a sense of humor. He always shows himself this way to me. My guide, his name's Jeremiah, and when I was younger, back in my 20s, I had seen the musical Cats, and my guide always shows himself like old Deuteronomy, the big old tomcat, raggedy robes. He always looks like that with a long beard and stuff. So my guide always shows himself that way. My guide, I can feel a lot of Hebrew energy on him.
Nice.
He's got and maybe it was really funny because when I first met him, the first time I saw him in my mind's eye and I could see him so clearly, I could draw him. I was actually reading the Kabbalah. So certain books were guided to me for a reason. Like, so I've had many past lifetimes that were Hebrew past lifetimes. I've had, Celtic past lifetimes. So yes. I'll get these Celtic guides that come in. And
right. Yeah, I lived for a lot of years in the Southwest, and I have done regressions, past life regressions, where I've been a lot of males, but a lot of like just Mexico, like Mexican healer. I've been, in myself kind of walking across the desert, going house to, houses where I was called to heal kids or heal, like just healing work. Like I just, that connection, like that's a big one for me, is definitely the Southwest. And just, kind of Spanish or Mexican cultures, I think. But my main guide that's been with me, I think maybe in the 80s for the first time I connected with her, and she's definitely female, and I always see orange around her, like a real deep, warm orange. And, I've asked for her name. It's like A-V-E, like a bunch of letters that don't really go together. So I'm like, what, it doesn't matter.
Like my Otto. I nicknamed him Otto because I can't pronounce his name.
Right. Yeah. And some of it was kind of symbols. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea what this is, but it doesn't matter. So I call her Evangeline, but that's not at all what it is, but that's just what I call her. But yeah, even now, like she came when we closed our eyes, and, she's just, yeah, she's the one that watches over me for sure and connects.
If you don't get a visual on what they look like, you may get a visual of a color or a symbol. Like Archangel Raphael, for me, the dragonfly represents Archangel Raphael, which is why I have a dragonfly in my logo. That's my acknowledging Raphael right in my logo every day, on my website and on my channel. Anytime you see the dragonfly, and you can that symbol, he will make himself known to me, usually in threes. So if he's making himself known to me, I'll see three dragonflies in one day. One might be like flying around outside, a real dragonfly. One might be on TV. One might be I open a magazine and there's a picture of a dragonfly. So they're not always living dragonflies, but the essence of seeing a dragonfly, I will see three. I can be out shopping and I'll see a piece of wall art that has a dragonfly on it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, hello, Raphael. Like I say
Yeah.
that every time I see a dragonfly, hello, Raphael.
Yeah. And that's
I
important.
acknowledge
Too. Yes.
I'm getting the message, and then I wait for two more to show up.
Right. That's the important part is I see you, I hear you, I know I got it. You know, I mean, I
Can
think
be
that's
reading a book, and the word dragonfly is in there. Yeah, but I will see three usually in one day when I see them. I see it every day? No.
right.
But when there are certain times where Raphael's making his presence known, sometimes it's because of something I'm going through. Sometimes it's because there's something he wants to teach me with, like healing energy or something. So he's getting my attention, like, okay, get ready.
Right. Yeah. And I think people have different types of guides too. I mean, and I think nature can be a huge connection to a different type of kind of base energy that's really just slow. Like when I go and connect with the trees or I put my hands, you know, it just slows you down like they've been there for hundreds of years, some of them. And so it's like, you know, and they all connect with each other and, you know, it's a different feeling like, but you have to be open to say, oh my God, this energy is so slow and so still.
I mean, the dragonfly came to me as Raphael, but you can also program a symbol, just like you can program tarot cards. You know, you can program a symbol to appear for your guide every time your guide's around, or for a certain archangel. So, you know, if you have a visual image of something like a wishing well or a rainbow or a certain flower or something, you can say, okay, every time I see a wishing well,
Right.
that's going to be my symbol for my guide or whatever. You can create your own symbol if you like,
Right.
that
Yes.
then they can use to present to you over and over. Or you can ask them, can you give me a symbol for you? And close your eyes, just like we just did to see your guide. Ask them to show you a symbol. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm seeing an anchor. I feel like that's Jeremiah. Like he's saying, I'm the anchor. I'm the anchor.
Nice.
I keep you grounded.
It's beautiful.
Are any of you getting visuals on your guides or getting a symbol in the chat? It's funny because I was telling Gail before we started, it's hard to get that sometimes when people are talking, like, guided meditations sometimes annoy me because the people talk too much. So I tried to pause in there to give you some time to try it.
Yes, yes. That's super important. That and just being okay with that space, like slowing down enough. And I think the one thing we were chatting about before we started was just, you know, getting out of that like day to day, but you know, definitely media created anger, fear, all those things. Like you can't hear anything when you're in that headspace. You know, you really need to go into your heart space and allow yourself to slow down.
But a lot of times too, like, we raise our vibrations to connect to them. They'll lower theirs to connect to us, right? They'll meet us in between.
Yes.
People are like, a lot of times they're like, how do I raise my vibration? You can just say it and you're raising it. You can just say, I'm allowing my vibration to raise.
Right.
And it's going up. You can visually imagine your vibration, raising and going out energetically stronger. But just the act of saying creates that, because we're all creators, right? We're all created in the image and likeness of God, the great creator, right? So we're all
Right.
creators. So you can create that.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing that I see is a lot of people that feel like they're not worthy of receiving a message, like how can they love me, or how can they, how can they, I'm not worthy, I'm just little old me.
Mhm.
I have my faults and I have my sins or whatever, yeah, we all do.
Right.
We're having a human experience, right? So I think putting yourself in a place to allow divine order to happen, to open up to receiving, you have to know that you're worthy of receiving and accept that. Um, a lot of people, like givers, people that like to give, people that are always doing for others, they're not good at receiving. It takes a while for them to get in receive mode. And you have to put yourself in receive mode and know you are worthy of receiving. That starts with self-love. If you aren't feeling the self-love and feeling that worthiness, you have to work on the brain that beats us up, right? That, as Jody used to say, the brain, the stories we tell ourselves that we're beating ourselves up all the time. You have to
Absolutely.
relanguage the brain.
Yep.
For me, one of the most profound exercises I did in the 1980s when I was in my 20s, I stood in front of a bathroom mirror and just stood there saying over and over, I love myself, until I could feel it. So I was faking it till I made it, right? I kept saying, I love myself. And I was looking deep in my eyes, saying it. And I would laugh. I would like, oh God, this is stupid, all those kind of feelings. And then I started to feel a choking up, and I started feeling tearful as I was releasing that permission to love myself. You have to love yourself, I think, before you can go out in the world and spread more love. Like you affect this here, you're going to affect out here even more.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a lifelong practice, I think. And I think, too, with your guides, like, I think it takes practice. It takes, keep trying to communicate, keep staying open, keep focused on, over time deepening that connection. And I think too, when you like have a daily practice with connecting, not to judge or beat yourself up when you fall off the track, because a lot of us fall away from our practice and taking care of ourselves. That's a pretty standard thing. But I think just to be able to go back without judgment and go into that space is
You say
really.
her neighbor's using power tools, so she's
Yeah.
going to try to watch later and try again. That's the good thing about the Sacred Cells of Coffee videos. You can go back and watch again, or we do the meditations at the end. You can play that. We're going to have a very different type of meditation today, I think, changing it up a little bit to help
Yeah,
you visualize more with your guides and angels.
I love it.
But I think, just getting open is putting it out there in the universe. I'm ready. I'm ready to meet my guide. I'm ready to meet
Mhm.
my angels. And, uh, it doesn't have to be an archangel. It can be your guardian angel who you were born with. And then you've got many other angels around you. There's so many angels around us, we just don't even realize.
Right.
But a lot of times, like if you ask to, um, experience that angel connection, you'll get what I call the angel goosebumps, the tingles, the angel tingles across the shoulders and down the back.
Definitely.
That's a ooh, I
Yep.
just got the angel tingles.
Yep. I'm getting the
Just letting you
shivers.
know, like I am surrounded by angel energy, and they're all here.
Yes. It's beautiful. I love it. What else have we got?
Uh,
Yeah, I think one of the hugest things is just allowing yourself to stay open and just being aware of, all the negativity that we are surrounded with, and making sure you step back and go into your own angel space.
Paisley's talking about anti guides or negative energies. I try not to give any energy to something negative. So I only pay attention to my guides and angels. Stay with the light. And they're going to help protect you from what you need protection from. It's all intention. If you know you're protected, you're protected. So, like people that say, "Oh, I had a hex put on me." Well, only if you believe it. you know, I was cursed. Only
Oh
if
my
you
gosh.
believe that you were.
What
They're
is that
giving.
line from Practical Magic? Oh my God, I love that movie. But Aidan Quinn at the end is like, curses only work if you believe in them, and I don't. And it was just the most precious moment.
It's all intention.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I don't, you know, I know there's people that do dark magic and stuff. That was a great movie, by the way. Um, I just don't give my energy to dark energy. Um,
Right.
even it doesn't have to be dark. It can just be those energy vampires, the needy people that are always sucking on you and stuff. It's like I keep my energy my own. I don't let someone else suck my energy away. I shut it down real quick. I
Right.
set boundaries and stuff so I don't feel a negative drain, and I know my guides and my angels will help
Right.
block someone from plugging into me. You can feel it when somebody's you're sucking on your energy, or like a narcissist trying to come over you and
Mm,
control you. You can feel the energy coming over the top of you. It's like almost like trying to smother you kind of
mm.
energy. It's like, yeah, no,
Yeah. And I
get back
think even within ourselves, I mean, we all have shadow parts of ourselves and things that we've kind of pushed away or reject or things that are very hard to face. Um, but I think even, working with your angels through that energy, like we all have dark, matter and it's important that we do. Like we're here to learn, we're here to grow. And everybody's got the shadow pieces that you need to work through. Um, and I think staying accepting those parts, but staying focused on that positive connection to heal those pieces, is a really important piece. Um,
I think you know our shadow parts and things that are more fear based. You have to look at the fear. You have to name the fear to work through the fear and
Absolutely.
transition it.
Yep, for sure.
Carolyn's like me. She insects, ladybugs, dragonflies, um, butterflies. Butterflies are such a symbol of transformation and stuff. It's funny, like butterflies for me. Like when I see colorful butterflies in my garden because I have flowers that attract butterflies, aren't a symbol for me so much. But those little bitty tiny white papery looking butterflies, I always see them in pairs. And that's always a sign for me that some transformations, they're always low on the ground. They're a little, almost like little fairies or something. They're just papery white. I've had them show up for me over and over and over again, like walking on the coast of England and on a windswept, the ocean breeze coming off the ocean, and little papery butterflies somehow walking at my footsteps all the way down a hill. I was like, why aren't they blown away? Like the wind was like whoosh, it was strong, and they're flying right at my feet all the way in front of me.
Wow. Yeah, that's serious. That's some serious guide connection energy.
Yeah, it's like no little papery butterfly could survive right here on the coast with this ocean breeze that was so strong. It was
Yes.
so windy.
Oh, yeah, Paisley said, yeah, that's more what I was thinking, the shadow pieces. Yeah, and that it's hard. And I think, to approach those with compassion for yourself and the things you've done you're not so proud of, or the things that, haunt you, or, and just being like, you know what, this is part of it too. And laying off on the judgment and going at those things with compassion and um, with
Regret serves
positive.
no one. It- Regret just
Mm,
puts more fear based stuff out there. So having regret, like, oh, I should have handled that differently. Yeah, and we all have moments where we like, if I just bit my tongue or something.
Right. Or
Um,
it's what other people tell us about ourselves too,
yeah,
that we have to, that we tuck away, and it gets very bigger than it actually is. And yeah.
one thing I find that helps me release regret when it comes up for me is to just say to myself, well, what did I learn from it? Because every experience is about what did you learn, you know? So I'll look at something that I may have regret about and figure out what I learned from it so that I don't do it again, right?
Right.
If it was a relationship I got in where I wasn't treated well and therefore I wasn't treating them well, you know, and
Right.
it was, you know, a toxic relationship.
Right.
Um,
Absolutely. We've all got those parts. And, I think, again, just approaching them with compassion. It's hard. It's a lot of work. It's
that's
lifelong work.
where that's where trauma comes from. If you're
Yes.
hanging on to those, that's trauma. And you know it's still there when it gets triggered. It's like,
Mhm.
oh God, it's that again. You know, it's coming up again and again. So you know you haven't released the trauma. And I just find that for me, it works to just face it, name it, you know,
Mhm.
and say, okay, what did I learn from it? Okay, now let me try not to do that again.
Mhm. There's so many ways to approach those things, and I think just knowing, honoring yourself, knowing what's right for you, knowing what's enough, knowing when it's time, and just trust in your gut, definitely. And your gut can be that connection too with spirit, you know, because they're there to help.
Getting a gut instinct about somebody, you know, you could be walking across a parking lot at night and you get this kind of gut instinct like, oh, watch out, you
Mhm.
know, um, can be a way of, letting you know if you're in danger or something. So
Right, definitely. Yes. So Paisley, I got a chow gong, and it is, she's a she, definitely. I don't have a name for her yet, but it's just a very warm earth tone. So, and a lot of different tones, like depending on where I'm playing on her, we'll get some different sounds. So different notes. So cool.
well,
Should we
well,
start our meditation, Jen, or we've got more
let's
stuff?
wait, let's start our meditation, and I'm going to try to allow a little more visualizing time in this one so you guys can try to connect to your guides a little stronger, um, or your angels. Um, the visual setting I'm going to put us in, if you don't like it, you can change that in your own mind. But I'm going to try to pause and not talk quite so much so that you have a little bit of time to get a message or to see something or feel something. Um, but I'll start out as I usually do, get us in our little gratitude space.
Awesome.
Um, but I'm gonna uh, I told Gail I actually channeled this meditation for you guys this morning and wrote notes as it was coming to me. So um, this will be a little bit different. So this will be one you might want to bookmark and come back to every now and then. So and I always for me I have a connection with four strong angels that I work with: Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, and Ariel. I have others that I work with, like Zadkiel I was talking about earlier. Um, you can add in any angel you want if you have a connection with Metatron or Uriel, as you were mentioning. Whoever you want to invoke, there are many angels, but it's just a way for me to raise vibration. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. We thank you for allowing us to connect to you in this sacred space. We thank you for allowing us to feel our worthiness to receive from you, our guides and our angels. I am open and welcome. I am open and I welcome your loving connection. I am raising my vibration to connect to you. I am learning more every day. My senses are open to your connections. I am standing on a beach with the water and the waves gently rolling in, almost like a music, like a song. And the beach is deserted. It's just me walking, occasionally putting my toes in the water. And I see in the distance a being walking towards me. And I know in my sacred space, this is someone who would like to connect with me. This is someone who may have a message for me or may have a gift they'd like to give me. And as they get closer, I can see what they look like. I can feel their energy and connect to them through my mind and my heart, sharing thoughts. I can ask them their name and they will give it to me. I feel as if I am treasured and loved. I hear them as they say, "You are so loved, and you're the essence of love in all its perfect forms." I thank my guides and my angels for meeting me on this beach, knowing that I may meet with them again anytime I want to. You are never alone. We are always, always with you. We had Rosie this morning adding to the sound bath towards the end. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Gail.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was so cute. Just a little subtle. It like added a grounding effect to me.
She gets very, yeah, she just loves her music. She loves the new gong, but yeah, she's a busy girl today.
She's singing along.
Yeah.
You know, my first awareness that I can remember as a child of angels, we used to have wild cherry trees that grew in our backyard. They grow quite
Mm.
tall, like really, really tall. And I can remember at 4 years old climbing to the top of this wild cherry tree. And in the top where the branches did like this, I sat there in the middle and I was swaying in the wind and singing with the angels. And it
Oh,
was there were no words. It was just this melody, like singing with the angels. Um,
nice.
and I knew that's what was happening. That's my earliest memory of angel energy.
Wow. That's beautiful. That's,
So,
yeah, and we're so open when we're little and able to connect, and experience that beauty and not question it.
yeah, and everything else I just like melted away. Like I was only focused on
Mm.
swaying in that tree and feeling, talk about energy, right? The nature energy and the angel energy.
Awesome.
It's all energy.
It is all energy, 100%. Yeah, I could feel the energy coming off the gong. Always the bowls, and I use the heart bowl a lot today. But yeah, and the third eye, so we connect. But it's all you can just feel like when I'm in the zone. I just kind of close my eyes half the time, and just yeah, it's beautiful. Boy, what a great day! Thank
Yeah,
you, Jen. This
I
was
think that I think the
oh
main thing to take away too is there is no right or wrong way to connect.
nope.
It's what works for you. So you may find, each person has different experiences because we're all unique and individuals. So however it comes to you, um,
Absolutely. And it changes and grows. Like I would not have thought I would be a sound practitioner, a
yeah,
sound healer. I wouldn't have thought I would have gone and got that certification. I wouldn't have, that wouldn't have, but boy, does it fit right now. And I don't know that 10 years ago it would have. So I
like
think just being open. Yeah.
30 years ago, I'm sure YouTube wasn't even around. We weren't
Right.
thinking about we're going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you just enjoy the journey and then you can reflect back on it. It's like, wow, you can see the full arc of the journey later, but it's really interesting while you're going through it. It's kind of like gradual, you know steps along the
Definitely.
way.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Oh my gosh. What a day. I love this. I was so excited for this one. It just it's a great topic and it's lots to share.
We
Yes. So
will be
thank
back
you.
in May, back on my channel,
Yep.
uh, just in time for Mother's Day. First Fridays every month, 10 a.m. Central Time.
Yep. So we will see you then. Thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh, what a great day. Thank everybody for being here. Okay, we'll see you in May. Bye, guys.